Hello, Region 1 FFA. I'm Madison Spear, and I will be talking to you guys about career in college, and I'll just have a few tips and such for you all as you move up and start looking at your college and career life. Applying to college. Know your deadlines. Start your application early enough to complete them by the deadlines. Read the instructions. Most of the mistakes on college applications are the result of not following the instructions, and that in the end can actually look sloppy and not look too good if you miss something. Provide all of the requested information. Leaving blank fields or providing incomplete responses makes it look like you weren't paying attention. Take care of it and make sure it's thorough and everything that they wanted is there. Proofread, and after you're done proofreading, give it to somebody else to proofread. That way you know that any typo or any error is fixed and you trust that it will be okay. Be honest. Admission staff will verify the info you provide, so keep it on the up and don't exaggerate your accomplishments because if it were to be a lie, in the end it doesn't look too hot and it could end up worse and not so good. Choose your recommendations wisely. Use teachers, counselors, and others who know you well, both inside and outside the classroom. Give them enough time to write thoughtful and considerate recommendations and be sure to thank them. Make sure needed essays represent who you are. The essay is the only opportunity you have to explain why you are different from other applicants, so be original and make it personal. Request copies of high school transcripts. Notify your counselor's office that your application deadlines are coming up or whenever they are so that they can get your transcripts sent to the college that you are applying to. That way they have them and you know that they have them and everything will be good. Keep copies of everything. Keeping copies of your applications, your recommendation letters, your essays, and all other materials that are part of the application process. You never know when it'll get lost in transit, and you just want to make sure that you had that just in case you were to ever have to send it again. And confirm that all of your application materials have arrived. Contact each of your schools to make sure they have received their application materials, and if anything is missing, supply it immediately. College scholarships. Start early. Get a head start gives you more time to research which scholarships are worth your time and energy. Once you know the best options, you'll have plenty of space to complete the applications that other students may have skipped. Many scholarships have limited funds. That means the earlier you apply, the more likely you will be to be rewarded. Use a scholarship matching tool. Focus on the scholarships you're a good match for and rule out the ones where you don't meet all the requirements. Don't get overwhelmed by all the options. Just take your time narrowing down the scholarships that make sense, and many colleges you apply to will have their own scholarships that they can match you with. Use your resources. Your high school counselor or college advisor is a great sounding board for finding the right scholarship. Advisors will often take the time to review your submissions and help you improve your essays and applications. Ask your guidance counselor which scholarships are the most popular and which are most tailored to your background. You can also work together to find specific scholarships from the schools you want to apply to. Polish social media accounts. When applying for scholarships or even jobs or colleges in general, the person reviewing your application might Google you. Make sure they find the right kind of results. Most students opt to make their social medias private, but you should know that there are still ways for colleges to see what you have been posting. Look beyond your grades. You don't have to have a 4.0 to qualify for scholarships. In fact, some scholarships don't even take grades into account. Aside from your GPA, it's important to find a way to stand out from the crowd on your applications. Before you start filling out the forms, think about what makes you unique and qualified and deserving of that scholarship. Collect letters of recommendation if needed. Scholarship and college applications usually require a few letters of recommendation from teachers and community members who know you best. They could include your employer, teachers, coaches, high school counselors, or other adults who can testify to your strengths, qualifications, and ambition. After you collect your letters of recommendation, make sure to thank your reviewers for taking the time to help you. Apply for many scholarships, big or small. Earning enough scholarship money to pay for college will likely come from many different sources. You need to apply to lots of scholarships to cover all of your bases, And don't overlook those one with the smaller awards. Winning, $100 here and there does add up in the end. So it does give you a pretty good odd of winning. Write a good essay. Many students shy away from scholarships that require essays, but a well written essay can be your ticket to standing out from the crowd. If you don't have a great writing skills, or consider working with your advisor or attending a writing workshop to help you develop a memorable essay, which is also a great practice for your college application as well. Practice your interview skills. Some scholarships require an in person interview. Being a good interviewee takes time, so practice answering questions about your background, interests, achievements, and aspirations. Remember that the more comfortable you are chatting with the interviewer and answering questions, the better the interview will go. Don't be nervous. Your interviewer wants to get a real feel for you and who you are and what makes you a good fit. Preparing for college. Practice time management. In college, professors are not going to poke and prod at you and make sure you always are meeting your deadlines. And once the assignment portal is closed, then it's closed. You don't get another week or two to hand that assignment in. When it's done, it's done. Make studying a priority. Studying for exams and finals will help you get the grades that you want, and it'll definitely help you feel better in the long run. Watch your budget. College is going to be filled with tuition payments and the need for books and food. Watching your budget can help you plan and figure out how much you want to spend on fun recreational items and other needed items. Know how to stay safe on campus. Some campuses may be bigger than others, so knowing how to stay safe and where you can find help when you need it will help you feel safe throughout your college years. Don't forget about your personal health either. Personal health is very important, mentally and physically. Staying healthy will help you stay motivated during school and you will want to continue on. Keeping that mentality that you're feeling good is definitely going to help you with your grades and getting through classes. And physically staying healthy also makes you want to feel motivated. Get involved on campus. Getting involved can help build friendships and keep you busy on boring downtimes. Find out about different clubs and activities that might suit your interests. Take advantage of student discounts. Student discounts can be very helpful when budgeting during college. Many stores have college student discounts, which can help you save during the year. And talk with professors when needed. If you have questions, do not be afraid to ask, and getting help when you can will help you understand more and be able to build your knowledge as you work towards the career that you want. And now we're going to move on to applying for a career. Get clear on what you want. Before starting your job search, take the time to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses and the type of work you enjoy doing. The better you know yourself, the more likely you'll find a new job that provides you with greater satisfaction. What do you want in a job? What's most interesting to you? Is it the money, or is it the work itself, or the location, or maybe just the air, like the community that you're in? Research target job sites. Once you know what you want, it's time to find out what the companies you're applying for want. A great tip for finding a new job is to investigate a company's page. If they have maybe a Facebook page or maybe they have a website, look into that. It will help you get a feel for the company culture, figure out what questions they commonly ask in an interview, and even discover what salary you might likely be paid. Tailor your resume to each job. Your resume is still one of the most critical tools of a job search. A lot of resumes you see are full of responsibilities, and job seekers send the same resume to various openings. One of the best tips for finding a new job is having an achievement oriented resume that includes qualities, achievements that are relevant to the job you're applying for. Get organized. Before you start applying for jobs or interviewing with employers, take a moment to develop a system that works for you and your job search. A simple spreadsheet works for many to keep track of where they've applied and when they've been invited to be interviewed, and so on. Don't limit yourself to online applications only. If you rely on submitting online applications, you could be looking for a job for a very long time. By the time you applied, the company could already be interviewing at the final stage, or maybe the job has already even been filled. Contact companies that interest you directly. Calling them will help them know that you're interested. So if you're calling and you're showing that interest, it helps you get that interview that you want. Develop examples and stories that showcase your skills. This is one of the main tips for finding a new job. People remember stories. So your goal should be developing a set of interview stories you can use in networking meetings or job interviews that clearly demonstrate your skills, achievements, and a passion for your work. Prepare for all job interviews. Before you get called for your first interview, develop responses for common interview questions and then practice them. Ideally, using the mock interviewing technique with a friend or family member, the more prepared you are for the interview, the more comfortable you'll be, and the more likely you'll be to succeed. Write thank you notes to the interviewers. A quick note of thanks that emphasizes your interest and fit with the job and employer will not get you the job offer, but it will make you stand out from the majority of job seekers who do not bother with this simple act of courtesy. So, with that note, you might not get that job offer, but you could still possibly, you know, be known. And if that company were to ever have another opening, they would definitely want to maybe contact you. But sending that thank you also shows your interest, so it can also help you get that job. Now we're going to move on to applications. So read over the application. Reading the job application may seem like an obvious step that people frequently skip it. Even if you scan the job description before you decided to apply, it is still a good idea to go back and read it a couple times to make sure you did not miss any details. Employers typically receive hundreds of applications for a position, and one of the most common methods they will use is eliminate anyone who they think didn't exactly read the job description or requirements. Use a professional name and email address. A professional job application calls for a professional email address. Some employers might disqualify an applicant for having an unprofessional email, even if the rest of their resume shows they were perfect for the job. Follow the instructions. Sometimes a field calls for a full paragraph or a couple sentences or just a yes or no. There are also fields that require you to spend some time with high depth answers. Regardless of what the specific question requires, make sure you are answering them correctly. Read the question a couple of times to make sure you understand, and then take some time to formulate the answer that you want to put on that question. Fix up your cover letter to fit the job description. Environments like job fairs require you to repeatedly give the same documents to multiple companies. However, if you're applying for a specific job in person or online, you will want to tailor your cover letter and resume to suit the application. Before writing or editing your cover letter, look through the job description and pay attention to the kind of employee they are looking for. The job description has information that includes the required educational background, what type of personality fits that person, and the skill set they would prefer a candidate to possess. Write qualifications out to the fullest. Describe your qualifications fully. Don't assume the employer knows what an acronym stands for. So when you're writing your qualifications out, make sure that you're really writing all of them out and you're thinking them thoroughly and you're explaining that qualification, not just writing one word or one little blurb. You want it to explain the qualification you have for that job. And then check application for mistakes before turning it in. You don't want it to end up being sloppy or maybe you missed grammatical errors. So checking the application for mistakes will help you look better, and the job will know that you were ready. Lastly, we have interviews. Practice answers for common interview questions. Practicing those answers will help you prepare. So just use some common ones like tell me about yourself or why are you interested in this company, because that's usually kind of the sort of questions you may be asked at first in an interview. Research company and interviewers. When you're researching them, you want to understand the company and you want to understand who you may be interviewed by, because then maybe you can relate to them. And during that interview, it will help you a lot more with it so that they understand your interests and the interview will go smoothly. Reread job description. You may want to print it out and begin underlining specific skills the employer is looking for. Think about examples from your past and current work that align with these requirements. Prepare a list of references. Your interviewers might require you to submit a list of references before or after your interview. Having a reference list prepared ahead of time can help you quickly complete this step to move forward in the hiring process. Be prepared with examples of your work. During the interview, you will likely be asked about specific work you've completed in relation to this position. After reviewing the job description, think of work you've done in past jobs, clubs, or even volunteer positions that show that you have some experience in this field. Dress appropriately and plan out the outfit the night before. If you're speaking to a recruiter before the interview, you can ask them about the dress code in the workplace and choose your outfit accordingly. If you don't have someone to ask, research the company and learn what's appropriate. Make a great first impression. Don't forget the little things. Shine your shoes, make sure your nails are clean and tidy, and check your clothes for holes, stains, pet hair, any loose threads. Display confident body language and a smile throughout. Respond truthfully to asked questions. While it can seem tempting to embellish on your skills and accomplishments, interviewers find honesty refreshing and respectable. Focus on your key strengths and why your background makes you uniquely qualified for the position, and win them over with positive and authenticity. Being genuine during interview conversations can help employers easily relate to you. Show positivity with a smile and upbeat body language can help you keep the interview light and constructive. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope all of WRLC is going good for everybody. If you have any questions, you can ask me or any of the other region officers, or even just text the region Instagram page, Facebook page, or email us. Have a great rest of WRLC, and thank you.